Hey, yeah. Yeah, I know, I saw it. Okay, hon. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Did you want a video
I
of
just
that?
think it's really ironic
There
that
you go.
we're here in the epicenter of Seattle, right in the place where all the tourists come, Pike's Public Market, the fish market here, and this is really a sacred corner for Native people. The Coast Salish tribes, this is where they did all of their commercing. They were trading with people from literally all over the Pacific Northwest and doing their bartering and trading, and now we only have one store with Native representation. I don't know if they were throwing fish. I know it sounds like they got a little bit of a Native chant going there, but the fish throwing, who knows? Pike's Market has always been a bustling hub for vendors and farmers, a lively open-air market where you can find an array of handmade goods. This is a place with roots that go back for centuries, originally used as a trading space by the Indigenous communities of the region. Only recently have we seen the emergence of a Native-owned business like 8th Generation, dedicated to showcasing the authentic creations of Native American artists. 8th Generation is a store where you can find an incredible assortment of Native American treasures. Every piece tells a story, and it's all curated by none other than Colleen Echohawk, the brilliant CEO of 8th Generation. I want to hear about you.
Sure.
Because I know you're a bit of a rock star in this city. I did a little research. Now, your background, you're originally from Alaska?
So I am an enrolled member of the Pawnee Nation of Oklahoma, but I grew up in rural Alaska. And then moved here to Seattle when I was 19 and just have never left. I love Seattle. Very honored to live in the Coast Salish territories. Probably over like 12-ish years ago now, I joined the board of an organization here called Chief Seattle Club, small organization at the time, and began to understand a little bit about what's going on. It's not just here in Seattle, it's all over the country.
Everywhere.
New York, LA, Phoenix, huge numbers of our people experiencing homelessness. That is a moral outrage. I think everyone, Native or non-Native, should be very upset and disturbed that Native people have the highest rates of homelessness. So when we think about the causes of homelessness for Native people in urban centers, we have to remember that cities were set up to keep Native people out. You know, when the Urban Relocation Act happened and thousands of people, of Native people, were moved from reservations into urban centers, a lot of them became homeless, and the stark reality is that Native people have the highest rates of homelessness around the country. I see this work at 8th Generation as an extension of the work that I did serving our homeless community and building housing, as creating amazing opportunities for our Native folks to thrive, and also to tell the larger world that we as Native people are here. We belong in the business place.
Yes.
We belong in Fortune 500 companies as CEOs. We belong in this space, and the large community is missing out when they don't have our voice and our expertise and our brilliance.
I agree with that.
The other thing is that I think that this art and design that you see all around here should be in every single person's home around the country. And the reason I believe that is this whole country is Indian country. Yeah. This whole country is Indian country. And when you look into people's homes, you do not see Indian country represented. And I think that is wrong. I think it's part of the reason that we have so many injustice and has hurt and harmed our community. When a non-Native person brings that into their home, they're seeing an authentic representation of art that is Native art, and it's changing the hearts and minds of the kids that are going to sit on that couch and hug that pillow while they're watching a movie, right? I think that what we have in our homes reflects who we are as people, reflects who we are as Americans. The number one question we get on social media, and we have a big social media presence, is, hey, I'm non-Native, can I wear that? And so we're trying to educate people as much as we can. Hey, you can buy this if you're a non-Native person.
This is a very deco, style, when really this harkens back to the beginning of this land.
We have it in a tote bag. We have it on a mug. People love this design.
It's completely classic. I mean, you just can't go
I bought this tote bag. It's great for the airport. It's nice. I can throw my computer in there. I can throw all kinds of stuff
stop
in there.
you all the time. Where did you
get that?
Well,
I have it in Noah Place. And then we have a new blanket in this in the Gold Label series called The Good Life. The Good Life, and it's all about subsistence rights. It'll come out in July.
You guys are
We're constantly just like making products, making things that we know people want to buy, and hopefully bringing a lot of prosperity to our artists and to our company.
Seattle, a city of contrast, where sleek modern high-rises brush up against nature's landscape, where the old merges seamlessly with the new. Here you'll find corporate giants like Starbucks, Microsoft, and Amazon, but Seattle has so much more to offer. The city breathes art, diversity, and culture. I had the pleasure of meeting Bethany Fracknell, a young Native woman who served our country in the Navy and has shifted past to embark on a journey of self-expression through art. We sat down at the park near Pike's Market, surrounded by the hustle and bustle of the city, to talk about her experiences and how she found solace in creativity.
So our ancestors had decided to stay at our lands and not go to the two reservations surrounding us. So yeah, we were forced to grow up apart from the tribe, but we used to actually be 4,000 members strong.
Okay.
And when the U.S. government had us sign treaties, we were supposed to either go to the Tulalip Reservation and the Muckleshoot Reservation that surrounded Snoqualmie. Well, my ancestors did not. They chose to stay right at Snoqualmie, and eventually we lost our recognition because the numbers of people were gone.
Mm-hmm.
And we had our elders and ancestors fought for our recognition that we gained back in '99.
So you guys were rebels. You stood your ground.
Stood our ground.
All right.
Yes. The Snoqualmie Falls is where our sacred site was. We weren't leaving home. That was our place.
What did you do as a young adult before you had a family?
Oh gosh, I first started out just in fast food. 16. As soon as I could work, I was working. So I did a lot of elder care, and it's just like at home. We take care of our elders.
Right.
Yeah, I was ready to live on my own. I was ready to do things on my own. So eventually, I did move on, and I joined the service, which is something I've always wanted to do.
From what branch?
I joined the Navy. Yeah.
And what was that like?
It was amazing at first, it was really great just to serve our country and be a part of something, that offered my hands. It was selfless work. It was work that, you had to do constantly, it was something to not only, help my family out, but, to make them proud.
I'm so proud to be able to say as a sister, you've served this country. There's more Native people serving in our armed forces than any other ethnic community.
As I didn't learn that until after the Navy, when I started getting back involved with the community. And then I'm hearing these stories and stuff and getting to see all these vets because I joined the color guard with my tribe. And I finally got to meet all these people and hear these statistics. But where I was, there wasn't very many, not at all, It makes you very honored, you know, that we show up for our land, we show up for our waters, you know, regardless of what has happened in the past, you know, we're still here to protect what's ours.
You just put that so beautifully. I mean, and that's the thing that people have said to me, well, how could Native people protect this government? And we've always had a bigger picture than that. It's not about protecting the government, it's about protecting our land, because this has been our land. Even though it's been occupied, it's still our land, and we still take care of it no matter what. It's our mother. How did you end up deciding to pursue a career in the arts?
I would paint, you know, things that meant a lot to me, and at that point I decided to draw a moon because we're people of the moon, and you know, and then it just started from there. It was my next drum, and I just started gifting them to people for certain various reasons of, you know, their impact on me in life, you know, and what they brought for me, and it was very good energy to give back that way. So this piece kind of is like, you know, a journey from canoe journey and all the things you see along the way, but also it's spring coming to life, you know. Spring means we're waking up our canoes. We use our cedar branches in a way, you know. It's like rebirth too, you know. It's everything here is actually facing the east direction to recognize that it's going into spring as well.
But I love the modern take, because even though you've got traditional imagery here, you're a modern day Native woman, and you're bringing your own color sensibility into this piece and your own design.
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of this is also driven from, you know, being a Snoqualmie tribal member, our elk in our valley and stuff like that, and just, it's really just taking, you know, like you said, being a modern day Native woman, and, you know, applying our culture to it and what it means to me, and just wanting people to feel that rebirth from it.
I love Seattle. I loved coming across the water. It's just such a beautiful place. And now we're going to go meet Tlingit artist Fred Fulmer, who's known for his carvings, primarily of masks and totems. And we're going to learn about the culture of the totem and why it's so spiritually important to his people.
Kunashchish hayadi shawadanetki. Kunashchish hashuka. Chade hanu hesayak yukakatani. So what I said was, thank you all for coming here, respectful people. Thank the ancestors. Forgive me if I don't speak our language correctly. That's what I was saying there. My English name you already heard was Fred Fulmer. Saka yuhat eduasao. That's my Tlingit name is Saka. And so, out of Alaska. So when I talk about this, most people understand Tlingit. You heard the word Tlingit?
Yes.
I like the older dialect, Tlingit. I love the way that sounds.
You got to get that. How do you get that tongue to do that?
I don't know. Yeah.
You know, I know it's storytelling. We saw another totem that the story was from the top to the bottom, if I remember correctly. Like the story told different sections of different people.
That's right. And Tompos, I see the way I look at it is since we don't have books and stuff and it was a written language, that's how history was recorded. Same thing with this. It evolved.
Right.
And so part of that evolvement is being guided or being inspired, and a lot of times I'm waking up from dreams, I see things and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to include that. And so
You
that's
have the
how.
ancestors talking to you.
Yeah. So within that first week, I had this dream, and this mask here is what developed from that dream. I was dreaming back. I was up in my mom's homeland 200-300 years ago, and if you go back 200-300 years anywhere in the world and take a snapshot in time, you're going to see 3 or 4 generations of people. And what I saw was the old timers. I saw the elders passing on that knowledge to the younger generations. And when they started, when I saw that, when they're passing on that knowledge, that's a wealth of knowledge.
Just what you're seeing here with the eyes and the mouth. I mean, this is all about how we really, I think, as Native people, this is how we've always taken care of the land. What you're talking about here is the wisdom to care not only for us, but for all of creation, which is so needed right now because we see what's happening with the world.
That's right. It's sending a message. It's sending a message to Washington, D.C. It's sending a message to the Park Service. It's like, this is the ancient ones. This is our ancestors. And our ancestors, we're still here.
Right.
Right? So we have the past, the present, and the future. And we're still here. And so that's a message that we're letting them know that we haven't gone nowhere. We're still here. And so that's how this became. You know, so
Powerful.
In the fiery heat and delicate fragility of glass, Lummi artist Dan Friday has discovered strength and purpose. He's found his tribe amongst the molten glass and vibrant flames, working in unison to create breathtaking art. From the revered Pilchuck studio to his collaborations with glass master Dale Chihuly, Dan has become a highly respected and collected glass artist. As he immerses himself into the art of glass blowing, he also holds on to his native culture, traditions, and beliefs, passing on the beauty and artistry of his craft to the next generation.
We grew up pretty poor, but we were in the city, you know, and so the food bank, like Goodwill, you know, like
Yeah,
all that.
you have some options.
There's something, you know,
Yeah,
you
it's
could
true.
get odd jobs.
Art has really allowed us to kind of transcend a lot of those wild party years. Not that, you know, we survived it.
Yeah,
That's the main thing. So how'd you get into glass blowing?
it's kind of an interesting story. I was a mechanic. I'd gone to trade school. I've always been an artist. It's a big tradition in my family, but it just didn't really seem pragmatic, or like, I need shoes and I'm hungry and I've got to find a place to live. I was on the street pretty early, but when I walked into a glass shop to meet somebody, I was dropping off a bag, you know, and I'm like, hey, what are you guys doing in here? And I just knew right away, I'm like, I could with that. What's cool about glass is really similar to a lot of our traditional workings is it's like an apprenticeship sort of thing. You've got to learn from someone, you have a mentor, 10,000 hours, that sort of thing too.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that it's kind of the last bastion of apprenticeship, because even if you go to art school like Pilchuck, right,
Yeah.
you're still going to have to start at the bottom.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So the paper, a degree is going to buy you money, right?
Glass blowing is more like a fire drill. Like, you show up, everything's got to be on time. You've got to hit these like benchmarks along the way. If something doesn't go right, there's no taking it back. You can't erase it. It's like permanently recorded in the glass piece, and you can work for hours on a piece and still lose it. I mean, it's glass, it breaks. But in that, there's such a great, I think that's another thing that people don't see about a glass piece, is that behind the scenes choreography that took place. And a lot of times when we're working as a team, it's like you're dancing with a dance partner. You don't want to step on their feet,
Right.
or being in a band, you don't want to be out of tune. And the satisfaction that comes when a piece comes out well, it means you've kind of gone through this series of steps where everything went well. And a lot of times you're not talking about the piece, you're just kind of like on this level with each other, like, and it's either a nod yes or a nod no. It's like, I'm ready or I'm not,
Right.
and being connected like that is what draws a lot of people into glass making.
So let's talk about this piece, because what I represent glass artists, but I don't think I've ever seen patterns like this. And how do you actually do this then?
Yeah, so this is called a lightning bear, and this is done with canes. And so cane work is historically, it's like a Venetian glass technique. These are opaque canes, so you don't really see through the bear. It's not as transparent as some of these other pieces. But, you know, that's another thing that I really like is telling my family's stories in glass, is a medium that is not new but new to us, you know. And so this sort of intersection, or this crossroads of Venetian glass blowing and telling these coast sailor stories, or telling my great-grandfather's stories, really brings me a lot of joy. In Coast Salish, we don't have clans like in the northern side, but we do have like a spirit or a family we're from, just like the Swan family, or we're the Bear family. My great-great-grandfather, Tuluk, Osium, is the Bear, and the Hilaire Bear, that's kind of our family crest, if you will.
Do you identify with the bear?
I'm a bear.
I kind of got that.
Yeah, I got that bear vibe, don't I?
You do, a little bit. As we bring our journey to a close in the vibrant city of Seattle, I find myself overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of the stories and talents that have unfolded before us. The Indigenous tribes who have inhabited this land for countless generations have left a mark on the cultural tapestry of Seattle. Despite being pushed out of their ancestral region, the spirit of their heritage never waned, and today we witness their extraordinary ability to reclaim their rightful place through the medium of art and culture. Seattle, a city bearing the name of a chief, is a constant reminder that the Indigenous people never truly left. Instead, they have withstood the tides of history, preserving their traditions and holding steadfast in their commitment to pass them down to future generations.